This video contains content discussing violence, death, and murder. Viewer discretion advised.
Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, also known as Cyril of Jerusalem or Cyril the Doctor, was a prominent theologian and bishop of the early Christian church. He was born around the year 315 AD in or near Jerusalem, though not much is known about his early life. It is believed he came from a Christian family and that his parents may have been martyred for their faith. Cyril received his education in Jerusalem, likely studying under Bishop Maximus, who ordained him a deacon. He later became a priest under the Bishop of Jerusalem and eventually succeeded him in the episcopal seat around 349 AD. As a bishop of Jerusalem, Cyril played a significant role in the theological controversies of his time, particularly these surrounding the Arian heresy. Arianism denied the full divinity of Jesus Christ, teaching that he was created being rather than a co-eternal with God the Father. Cyril vigorously defended the Nicene Creed, which affirmed the Orthodox belief in the Holy Trinity. One of Cyril's most enduring legacies is the catechetical lectures delivered to the catechumens preparing for baptism. These lectures, known as catechetical lectures or catechetical orientations, provide valuable insights into the beliefs and practices of the early church. They cover topics such as the Apostles' Creed, the sacraments, the Lord's Prayer, and the significance of the Eucharist. In addition to his theological writings, Cyril is also known for his role in the Council of Constantinople in 381 AD. Although he did not attend the council personally, he sent representatives to express support for the Nicene Creed and the Orthodox faith. Despite his theological contributions and steadfast defense of the orthodoxy, Cyril's episcopate was not without controversy. He faced accusations of misconduct and even exile from Jerusalem on multiple occasions. However, he was eventually vindicated and reinstated as bishop. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem died around the year 386 AD. He was venerated as a saint shortly after his death, and his feast day is celebrated on March 18th in the Western Church and May 7th in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Throughout history, Cyril has been revered as a teacher of the faith and defender of Christian orthodoxy. His catechetical works continue to be studied and cherished by theologians and faithful Christian alike, making him a beloved figure in both the Eastern and Western traditions of Christianity. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem is often depicted in iconography according to the traditional Christian iconographic conventions. While there might be slight variations depending on the artist and on the cultural context, here's some of the common elements typically associated with his depiction. Cyril is usually depicted wearing the attire of a bishop, which includes a long robe or chasuble, often adorned with intricate patterns or symbols. He may also wear a stole known as an omophorion, which signifies his episcopal authority. As a bishop, Cyril may be shown holding a pastoral staff or crozier, symbolizing his role as a shepherd of the Christian flock. The staff represents his pastoral care and authority over the diocese. Like other saints, Cyril's often depicted with a halo or nimbus surrounded his head, symbolizing his holiness and divine illumination as a saint. Given Cyril's reputation as a theologian and teacher of the faith, he is often depicted holding a book or scroll representing his catechetical lectures and his theological writings. This signifies his role as a teacher and guardian of Christian doctrine. In some depictions, Cyril may be shown with symbols associated with the Eucharist, such as a chalice and a host, emphasizing his devotion to the sacraments and his teaching on the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. As a symbol of Christ's sacrifice and redemption, Cyril may be shown with a cross or crucifix, reflecting his commitment to the Orthodox Christian faith and his defense of Christological doctrine. In certain depictions, especially those representing Cyril in a catechetical context, he may be shown surrounded by a group of students or catechumens listening attentively to his teachings. These elements collectively symbolize Cyril's role as a bishop, theologian, and teacher within the Christian tradition. Though his iconography, Cyril is portrayed as a revered figure with whose life and teachings continue to inspire and guide believers in their faith in journey. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem is associated with several miracles, both during his lifetime and posthumously, as recounted in his hagiographical accounts and the traditions of the Church. Here are some notable miracles attributed to him. Cyril is said to have performed numerous healing miracles during his lifetime. These include instances of curing the sick, restoring the sight to the blind, and relieving people of various afflictions through his prayers and intercession. Many of these healing miracles were witnessed by his contemporaries and contributed to his reputation as a holy person and compassionate bishop. Cyril is reputed to have experienced and demonstrated miracles related to the Eucharist. One account tells of how Cyril's faith in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist was affirmed when, during the liturgy, the bread and wine visibly transformed into flesh and blood before the eyes of the faithful. This miracle served as a confirmation of Cyril's teachings and about the sacred mystery of the Eucharist. There are accounts of Cyril's protection of the city of Jerusalem and its inhabitants from various dangers and calamities through his prayers. During times of siege or threat, Cyril is said to have interceded with God for the safety of the city and its people, averting disasters and ensuring divine protection. After his passing, Cyril continued to be venerated as a saint, and numerous miracles were attributed to his intercession. These included reports of healing the sick, granting fertility to barren women, and delivering people from spiritual bondage. Many of these posthumous miracles were documented by witnesses and became part of the ongoing cult of Cyril's veneration. Cyril is also credited with miracles of spiritual guidance and conversion. Through his preaching and pastoral care, he is said to have led many souls to repentance and conversion, bringing them closer to God and the Christian faith. It's important to note that these miracles are deeply ingrained in the hagiographical tradition surrounding St. Cyril of Jerusalem. Their historicity may be difficult to ascertain with certainty. Nevertheless, they continue to inspire devotion and belief in the saint's intercessory power among the faithful within the Christian tradition. The process of canonization, or the official recognition of someone as a saint within the Catholic Church, typically involves several stages. While the process for early saints like Cyril of Jerusalem may have differed from contemporary procedures, the key elements of recognition remain largely consistent. Here's a brief overview of the process of sainthood for Saint Cyril of Jerusalem. Following Cyril's passing, he was likely venerated locally in Jerusalem and the surrounding regions. This initial veneration may have been spontaneous, driven by popular devotion and the recognition of Cyril's holiness, virtues, and the reported miracles associated with him. Over time, witnesses to Cyril's life, virtues, and alleged miracles would have been interviewed and their testimonies recorded. These accounts, along with any writings by or about Cyril, would have been collected and preserved. If Cyril became widely venerated and his cult grew, his tomb or relics may have become a site of pilgrimage where the faithful sought his intercession and reported graces or miracles received through his intercession. At some point, the local bishop or ecclesiastical authorities would have initiated a formal inquiry or investigation into Cyril's life, virtues, and the alleged miracles attributed to him. This inquiry would have involved gathering evidence, examining testimonies, and scrutinizing Cyril's writings for orthodoxy and sanctity. In the early centuries of Christianity, the process of beatification, declaring somebody as blessed, was often informal and could occur through local acclaim or episcopal recognition of a person's holiness. Cyril would have likely been recognized locally first as a blessed person by the Church of St. Jerusalem, or sorry, just Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem, or by a nearby bishop. Formal canonization or declaration of someone as a saint typically requires a decree from the Pope affirming the person's sanctity, heroic virtue, and the authenticity of miracles attributed to their intercession. In St. Cyril's case, his canonization would have been through a papal decree affirming his status as a saint. It's important to note that the process of canonization for early saints like Cyril of Jerusalem may have not followed the elaborate procedure established in later centuries. However, Cyril's sanctity, theological contributions, and the enduring veneration he received from the faithful would have contributed to his recognition as a saint within the Catholic Church.